Hey guys, FilthyRobot here, continuing my playthrough with Arumba of EU4. I'm about to war England again, and again, and again, until there's no more England.
Yes, it's going to be glorious. However, we have a couple things. Recalculating, right? What are some of the things that we've talked about in the past when it comes to deciding whether or not we should declare war? Like, what are the things that you usually want to have it taken care of before you actually make a war declaration?
Things I want taken care of. I want unit maintenance up. I want forts turned on. I want navies in safe positions. I want to know who's likely to be joining this war. Probably I would need to look, I guess we'd want to look a little bit at what France and England have for claims on each other, see if France is likely to be part of this war when we drag them in, because we're still allied to France, right? We still have an alliance with them?
Well, let's find out. That's a great thing to consider. Would France join us? First off, check to see, does France have a truce with England? They don't, because they were in the war with us last time.
How do I check that?
By right-clicking on France, you can see in their list of all their stuff that there is one of them at the very top, truce with Brittany and Castile. If he had a truce with England, he would show a flag for England there.
Okay, which he doesn't have.
Yep. So let's actually come back from England for just a moment. And let's check out the declare war interface with England.
All right, so I right-click on England to get the interface and go to declare war and take a look at what happens. And if I were, France has not been promised territorial gains. So we'd have to spend favors. They probably won't accept. They're very negative. Why are they very negative? Does not owe Scotland at least 10 favors.
Okay. So right-click on France again. And go to the diplomatic feedback tab at the top. We're at 8 favors right now.
Diplomatic feedback tab, 8 favors. Okay.
And if you hover over the 8, it says, as we are allied to them, we will gain a favor every 2 years. So our strength relative to their strength means we gain favors slower than if we were equal strength. If we were equal strength, we would gain 1 favor a year. That's the most that I've ever seen you be able to gain. You can't gain more than 1 per year.
Okay.
So sometime within the next 4 years, we could potentially call France in using favors. And by doing that, we don't owe him anything. We could just have all of the war score, all of the land go to us, and he wouldn't get upset about it.
Okay.
On the other hand, we could promise him territory by clicking that little button when you are looking at the declare war thing. Remember,
okay, I'm going to the declare war interface right now and clicking what button?
See that little, like the speech bubble? France has not been promised. You click on that, and then now we're saying, okay, well, we're not going to use favors. Instead, we're going to promise you territory.
Oh, we don't get to choose which territory?
No, not ahead of time. But we're just saying we're going to promise you territory relative to the amount of participation that you have.
Can we give him territory that we didn't have claims on?
Sure, we can give him whatever he's interested in.
So we can give him like Normandy and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And those would be the ones to do, because he's got a core on that land anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So we could do that. So yeah, France is going to join our war, which is great. One thing we would love to do is if we could get some vision on the English holdings down on the mainland. If his army,
we need to deploy the rowboats again.
If we catch England with his army in Europe instead of on the island, then that would just be so funny and awesome.
I have a question here. It says when I mouse over the green check mark, it says they will most likely accept.
They will always.
So that's just phrasing. That's just incorrect, imprecise phrasing that is designed to confuse and irritate me.
Kind of. It's theoretically possible that between today and when they actually respond tomorrow that something major could change and it won't do what it says that it will, but 99 times out of 100, if it's green check mark, it will happen always.
Okay.
But so we've checked out the stuff that we needed to check out. We know that France is going to join. We know France is on Tech 5. England's on Tech 5. We're on Tech 5, so we're all equal. We see that England's allies will both honor the call. We've got the Papal State and Portugal to consider. So Portugal is on military Tech 5. The Papal State's on Tech 5. So we're all on Tech 5. No military tech advantage. Morale for France is going to be the normal morale. He doesn't have anything special yet.
How do you see that?
Okay, so now that we've unlocked an idea group, every other nation's probably unlocked an idea group, and so that's an important thing to check on as well. You right-click on France.
Okay.
Do you remember where the little guy with the patch over his eye is?
Yeah.
Right to the right of that is a little light bulb. That's the ideas. And you can see which ideas they've taken.
Okay.
He's taken 1 idea so far. We went trade. He went economic.
Well, he has 2 bonuses. Doesn't that mean he has two ideas? I mean, he's one idea group, but 2 in that group, or no?
Go ahead and go to the ideas tab, shortcut key 7. And you'll recall that we have 2 traditions for free. Every nation gets 2 traditions by default.
Okay.
Unique to their nation.
So those 2 bonuses are his 2 unique bonuses?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so he's and if it says he has 1 idea group, he's opened it, but he's not getting any bonuses from that.
Well,
that are relevant to that eye patch, whatever the fuck that is.
Well, he's opened up economic ideas and he's taken the first economic idea.
Okay.
So he has one idea, and it's in the economic idea group. And so you know exactly what it is. If you want, you can go to the ideas tab again. You can click on where it says unlocked at Renaissance Thought 7, and you can look at the idea groups again and go check out economic. You can see that he's taken bureaucracy, national tax modifier plus 10%.
It's kind of a neat one.
So what you would want to consider there is, like in certain circumstances, if you find a nation that you're about to go to war with has like a very strong military idea group or something, that could change your thought process.
Yeah, because it could be scary as fuck. Okay. So we should do that with England too then, because England we actually have to declare war on. So we should go look at them. So I'll go click on the idea group. They have administrative ideas. And then I can go back to 7 and look at what an administrative idea does. And, administrative ideas gives him mercenary cost minus 25%.
Yep, that's the higher cost, not the maintenance cost. So he can hire mercs for a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
By default,
and he was hiring mercs like nonstop when we fought him last time.
Oh god, AI will always hire mercs. If they're in a war that they think that they're going to lose, if there's any chance they can lose, they will merc up like crazy.
Okay.
They love mercs. They almost every AI will go into debt at some point via hiring mercs.
Okay. What happens if we don't have a mission selected right now? It says we don't have one selected, and neither of those missions look very appealing to me. Do we just wait?
You could wait and hope that another one appears. You could cycle them by accepting one and then canceling it. In this case, I would probably take the naval race versus Denmark because it's going to self-satisfy. We already have 4 ships queued up, and all we need is 2 more to complete, and then the mission is completed.
Oh, that's going to be an easy mission then. I didn't even notice. Okay.
Yeah. So we might as well take it if there's, and that'll cycle that mission out and give us maybe a different option. I did notice you queued up a 5th ship in Inverness. Is that just because we only have 4 provinces that have the discount?
Cheaper ones, yeah. And I wasn't guaranteeing. I was worried I wouldn't remember to do it later. So
yeah, fair enough.
If you want to spread it out right now, it's fine.
No, it's not a big deal. 1 extra year, that ship's not going to make any money in a year anyway.
Okay.
So for now, though, let's go back to spying on England. We're not ready to declare just yet. There was 2 other factors that I don't think you really quite covered. You had a great checklist in your head for what you needed to go through, but here's a couple others. You didn't remember to check to see how your rebel faction progress was.
Okay, so, but I've been monitoring that. That's pretty damn low.
Okay. Well, you didn't mention it. So, well, we've got to take care of that. It would be a good idea to knock down the English separatists down to 0% before we do that. And then the other one, and this one's really big, is that war exhaustion is at 1.45.
Oh, I did not think about that whatsoever. Okay, so I can go to that from the stability and expansion tab. And I look at this, and war exhaustion is 1.45 out of 20.
Yeah. So if you wanted to get it down to 0, you would have to wait 14 and a half months. We don't necessarily have to.
Admin. Fuck, I don't want to spend admin. Or not admin, Diplo.
Diplo. Definitely don't want to do Diplo now right now. Yeah. I would recommend we wait at least a few months just to get war exhaustion down a little bit. But
how much is it down per month?
Hover over that little green arrow. It's 0.1 wallet piece.
Oh, the green arrow. Okay, I was hovering over the bar. Fucking man, there's so many tooltips. Okay.
Yeah, Paradox loves their tooltips.
All right. I mean, so I guess we could simultaneously. We wait a couple months to eradicate these English separatists while simultaneously working on war exhaustion. How low did you want to get before you wanted to war again?
I mean, ideal circumstance would be that we would go all the way down to 0, but I don't think we should wait that long.
It's quite a wait to do that.
The other advantage to doing that, though, is that we would get most of the way through our cores, which would lower unrest. And there's a lot of advantages to just kind of taking it easy. And I highly recommend, again, if you're a brand new player, if you don't have someone coaching you at all, take it easy. You don't have to conquer the whole world in one war. Like there's one of the loading tooltips when you boot up EU4 is like there's always going to be another war or something. Like you don't have to kill your enemy in one war, and it's so true. When you bite off,
I'm a very impatient player in general.
You bite off more than you can chew, and you're going to pay the penalty. It's expensive to sit at like 100% overextension or other things. Now, there's one other thing I would probably take the time to look at before we actually declare this war, and that's how close to the completion is our disaster. You got that big red annoying alert, looming disaster. The aristocratic coup is at 55%.
That's quite a fucking high percentage over there.
Yeah, we're 45 months away from them firing. So about 4 years, and the aristocratic coup will fire. So what I would recommend you do is go ahead and go to the Estates tab.
Yep, there.
Hover over the nobility influence.
Mm-hmm. It's at 80. 80.3. It's going to go down.
80.3. And then look through that list of modifiers that make it 80.3. We've got recruited minister. We've got diet held and advancement of the nobility. Check the end date. The date that it's listing is when it expires. Do any of those happen within the next 45 months?
So 45 months is approximately, it's a little bit less than 4 years. So we're looking at, say, January of 71. So we're looking for anything before that. No, right?
No,
I don't see any.
So if left to its own devices, this disaster will fire. And
disaster accurate? Is it really a disaster? Is it going to be?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's real bad. Go to the stability expansion tab. It's the 9th one.
Yep.
If you hover over
see what the disasters are.
Yeah, you can see.
Okay.
Would have the following effects: trade efficiency minus 25%, national tax modifier minus 25%,
yeah.
global trade power minus 25%.
We don't want that.
And in addition to that, in order to make the disaster go away, you don't actually see anything about it here, but I can just tell you from experience, you'll end up with a decision that you have to take that costs you like 4 stability to resolve the disaster. 4 stability is like at least 400 admin points in most cases. So it's really, really bad. We do not want that disaster to fire.
Right, so how do we get nobility influence down?
We could either cut it close and we could wait the 45 months and then the month beforehand just revoke another province.
Revoke some fucking land, huh?
Or just revoke a province now, which I think is just the much safer course of action. Let's just, out of the provinces that they control, let's find the best one to revoke and revoke it right now.
Go F1, I go to estates, I go to nobility. No, it's not. Where the fuck was this last one? We just did this and I honestly do not remember. I remember you told me you could do it.
The macro builder, go to B.
Yeah, okay, that's
9.
Estates.
Nobility.
Okay, and I click on nobility, and the green ones are the ones they already have?
Pink.
No.
Pinkish red.
Pinkish red.
You gotta click on nobility first to see.
Yeah, I have them selected. So they have 3 right now. They have Sutherland, Inverness, and Lancashire, or whatever the fuck it's called. Lancashire. Can we just revoke? I don't really want to revoke. I mean, I guess we could revoke then give it to someone else immediately.
Well, the things to consider are the autonomy in the provinces, and
that's what I was thinking about. So I didn't want to give him the English one because I don't want the autonomy to go. I guess it goes higher again, right?
Well, that province, Lancashire, would actually be better suited to the clergy or the burghers by far, just by looking at the type of territory. It's a 553, so it's got low manpower, high taxes, and high production. So either the burghers or the clergy would be much better off there.
Yeah, but that's why I asked my very first question, which is if we revoke it from them, can we just immediately give it back to somebody else?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing
that's the target. Then.
The only well, not yet, not necessarily. The only thing that you can't do is if you grant a province to an estate, you have to wait 12 months before you can revoke that specific province again. Okay. So there's a 1-year cooldown once it's been given. So here's the thing: that is not necessarily an ideal province for the nobility, but looking at the autonomy, we've got 31.5% in Lancashire. So that is definitely a province we would prefer to have in the control of the estates because it's helping us in some way, either manpower, taxes, or production efficiency. But look at the other 3. The other 3 are at 25.0% autonomy.
Okay.
When you hover over any of those provinces, it'll tell you, not in this tooltip specifically, but it says minimum province autonomy in the tooltip, 25%. Every estate sets the minimum province autonomy to 25%. So we're at the floor in these provinces, which means it could be lower than 25%. But because the estate is in charge, it's raising it to 25%. Does that make sense?
Oh, so we may actually, in the long term then, with territory, you may wish to give new territories to your factions. Yes. But later on, remove them because once they get to the floor that the nobility allows, we want it to go lower by not giving it to the nobility at all. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, it's very common that you will tend to give new territories to the estates and revoke older territories that are.
And the people icon then is the military.
Yeah.
On that.
It
and
goes.
Okay, so gold is I don't even know what are the 3 options again? It's like development.
It's administrative. It's administrative. It just goes in order: administrative, diplomatic, military points. Okay. Those 3 in a row, and then.
But looking at those, then we should revoke. If we're looking at that mentality, if our thought process was we want to get these down a little bit more, we don't wish. We should get rid of the ones that doesn't have manpower because they give. Unless I'm remembering wrong, the nobility gives some sort of manpower bonus, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so the one with the least manpower is the Western Isles.
Yep, I would say that in this case, Sutherland or Western Isles are equally equal.
Okay,
it's a 1-1-1 versus a 2-2-2.
I assume the 2-2-2 is going to be costing them more influence than the 1-1-1.
Yeah, it tells you.
I actually want to.
It's in the tooltip right there. When you're looking at it, see at the top it says nobility 2.2%, nobility 4.5%. That's what it's worth to them as far as influence.
Exactly. Okay, that's what that number is. Cool, perfect. So if we take Sutherland from them, that's going to put them under the 80 and give us a little bit of wiggle room, leeway-wise, so that we can always revoke more later, right? So what is it? Does it tell me what it costs? So it decreases their loyalty by 6. They're still over 60% if we do that, but it does trend down, right? Loyalty.
Yes. Trends toward 50, not necessarily down, but toward 50.
Whoa, that's weird. Why is the Western Isles reducing their... Oh, it doesn't. I was mousing over Inverness. Okay. No, in that case, I think I'd go Western Isles. That gives us a little bit more... Isn't 60 a breakpoint in terms of what we get?
Yep, we would lose the land maintenance modifier if we took them below 60. So yeah, I would...
Yeah, so let's give them Western Isles, because it still gets them beneath what we want, and it's going to trend down below from 60 to 63 to 50, but this gives us more of the time for that.
Sounds great.
Okay, cool. Done. All right, and we don't want to give it away again, because that was part of the rationale for choosing that one, is we don't actually want this to go. We want this to keep trending down the total... where did I see that number, by the way? The total autonomy.
Well, there's an autonomy map mode, or you could just click on the province itself. And actually, that is one of our initial core provinces that we granted them at some point. So it's already at 0.0% autonomy. So the floor was 0. And this is something that Paradox, please. It raising the autonomy is fine, but when they hide the actual number from you, it drives me nuts. There's no way of knowing outside of your own personal experience and memory what the actual number was. It could have been 24.9999%, or it could have been 0, or it could have been 13, or any number in between. There's no way of knowing. Okay. Until you've revoked it. You should. All right. But yeah, so basically what we did there is we just gained 25% taxes in base production, because before we had autonomy and now we don't. Yes, it's not much, but
it's very little. But yes, but it's better than what it would be if we. And it satisfies getting rid of this ticking time bomb, which I assume now just decays over time now.
Yep. Now, if you hover over the disaster, you can see that it's now progressing at -1 per month.
It's gone from my pop-ups in the top now.
Well, it's because it's not trending. But if you go to the stability and expansion tab, you can still see that the aristocratic coup is at 55% progress. And now it's decaying at 1% per month. Just like the other types of rebellions come down over time as you...
Yep, that's what I was making. That's what I was clarifying. Cool,
yep.
Good.
So that was a lot of discussion about that, but that is...
No, that's important. Yeah. That's a really nasty event, it sounds like.
And so let's do this. I think, at the very least, let's stay at peace for let's give it 4 months. So we're going to lower maintenance for sure for a little bit. We'll stay at peace for 4 months, plus the time it takes to recover our morale. Okay. Let's just wait. I'm just gonna force you to let war exhaustion down just a little bit. Otherwise, you're gonna do what I do, which is you declare war and then you realize, oh crap, I actually have I declared a war with 5 war exhaustion. Oops. Yeah. I can't believe you turned all the music off. I love the music in this game.
I don't trust music anymore.
Ooh, England is considered to be a great power. That is silly. So because they just embraced the Renaissance, okay? We should talk about that. Again, click on any province that you can see. Yeah. Press the N key to open up the institutions screen. Okay. And then click on the second one down, Renaissance. Get the Renaissance map mode. Remember, the Renaissance spawned in Italy, but it's been spreading rapidly, and it's reaching a lot of locations now. Austria recently embraced it. Looks like France must have at some point. England just did. So looking at the English provinces, you see how London and Kent both are that bright green. They've got the Renaissance present. And now if you look at any province adjacent, well, really any province in England, and you look at the actual, that pop-out tab that shows the Renaissance, you can see that it's spreading so fast. Renaissance plus 3.31 in Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
So every month it's going up by 3%.
What is the option needed to embrace it?
We need it to actually become fully embraced in some of our provinces. 10% of our development has to have embraced the Renaissance before we're going to be able to embrace it as a country.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he hates us, and so we're going to get reduced spread, because, click on Yorkshire.
Okay.
If you hover over the Renaissance in Yorkshire, you can see we're only getting 0.09. One of the things that we could get would be if we had a nearby friendly province that does have it. We could get up to 0.8, but England is not friendly, therefore we don't get the spread.
Well, all the more reason to go to war right now, Arumba, because then we could conquer them and it would be friendly.
Well, yes and no. Yeah, this is actually a really good argument to not go to war yet, because if we wait, think about it like this. If Lincolnshire embraces the Renaissance, if we conquered Lincolnshire tomorrow, it would not get the Renaissance very quickly at all, because we're still going to be enemies with England. And so the Renaissance would not spread.
But you're looking at that's a backwards way of looking at this, because we already looked at, I'm going to have to go back into this mode. So I go province and I hit N, and then I look at the Renaissance. We look at this, London has already embraced the Renaissance. If we just conquered London, everything around this would then be our territory, therefore friendly, therefore spreading it faster, right?
Yes, but Lincolnshire is growing at 3.31 per month. if it embraced the Renaissance now, then when we conquer it, we would already have a province that has the Renaissance, and we wouldn't have to pay to develop the Renaissance in the province. When you actually go...
That's what I just said about London.
Well, yeah, we're obviously going to take London in the next war. That's going to happen. Has to happen. So we're going to get that, but, like, there's a slight argument to be made that the overall spread of the institution would be faster if we left it in control of the English for a little while.
Is it important enough to base decisions around that?
No.
Oh.
Not right now. Not exactly. Just theory crafting a little bit. But if we... I mean,
is Wallace aging right now?
Yeah. Oh, he's probably going to die soon. We hired him at the very beginning of the game. He's probably going to die before the end of the war, be my guess.
Yeah. So I guess I also wouldn't mind warring before he dies.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Where do I see the leaders again?
Military tab.
Military tab, yeah. It just says Wallace. How do I see his age?
You can't.
Oh.
Sadly. I don't know why.
Could he be an immortal? Do we know?
No, he cannot. Let's keep our cab together, but let's send a couple of these other infantry over that way. Out of curiosity, is England maintaining their forts? He is. Rats. Alright, let's get some eyes out there for a second. I'm going to send one of the boats down to each of these sea tiles and see if we can scout out the English army.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should probably declare soon, but I still would not be opposed to waiting until that war exhaustion come down. So, oh no, we're dead! We're dead! No!
What was our last guy?
James II.
Yeah, I know, but what were his stats?
Go to the ledger. L.
Okay.
And then it's on page 17. It's previous rulers. So James the Second died August 11th. That was 2 days ago. He was a 322.
322, and we're now James the Third. We're 133. Well, I suppose on the nice part, more diplomatic is good for us, and more military isn't bad, but we lose a lot of admin. Okay.
Yeah.
What's his advisor cost? Well connected. Our new guy is well connected, huh?
Yeah, so he just saved us 20% of our advisor expenses. That's really good. We're gaining 3 ducats a month with full maintenance on. That's really awesome. So anyway, there's 27,000 troops in London. His entire navy, his entire army, is on the continent. On the island. That means that the French are going to be useless to us. They're going to just siege down the English holdings down in Europe, and then they're going to not be able to get across the water because of the naval strength of the English. And it's just basically going to be our army versus the English army. It's just going to be a little tricky.
Damn. We have an annoying pop-up.
We do.
We have trade complacency. No. We have either Scotland gets out-of-date commerce practices for 10 years, which gives us -10 global trade power, -10%. Or we think the price could be rising and we gain 1 inflation. Yeah, those sound very good to me, Arumba. Why do we get shitty options? Is this something to do with you? Is the leader quality of our current campaign compromised?
No. Most likely that's just one of those 5-year pulse events from having trade ideas. We rolled a bad one. So 1 inflation is roughly equivalent to about 35 admin points or so. The reason for that is that to buy down inflation, you can click a button to reduce inflation by 2% for 75 admin. So 1% would be half of that, 37.5
So we
points.
have a lot of admin. However, we don't make very many more admin anymore because we just lost our decent ruler for that. And we're going to need admin when we start taking over provinces, coring them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I understand what that does for us. Okay. But -10% global trade power. You were very big on global trade power when we were talking about mercantilism.
When we actually have London, I'd say it's going to be important. But for right this second, we're not making that much money from trade. We're talking about losing a little bit, like 0.26 ducats. 10% of our current trade income would be a quarter ducat a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're doing that one then. Okay.
I
Done.
suppose so, yeah.
All right. How are we doing on timing?
Got to take a break here, but I'm not liking the way this war feels. But we'll see. You want to lose a war? You want to experience that?
No.
Okay. Let's wait at least until the ships. I don't know. Let's just wait a second. We'll see you again in the next episode. Either way.
That's right. See you guys shortly.
In a bit.